Hello guys, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about why I think it's harder to climb in Season 14 Split 3 and at the same time playing some Aurora in the top lane against some Ornn. I think Aurora is one of the best champions right now to actually climb within top lane, and I think tanks are also very strong, like Ornn, Sion, Cho'Gath, Malphite, Shen, these champions. So yeah, I'm going to get into it while also trying to play some League of Legends. It's a pretty chill lane, so I think it's going to be okay. Basically just going to push him in for the whole lane phase and see how it goes, I think. I've only started learning Aurora recently, so I'm not like the best at her, but I think she suits me pretty well. She's like a ranged bully that scales. I'm honestly kind of mad at myself that I didn't start learning this champion earlier. But she's a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm enjoying learning her. We're taking SoloQ in this page. I think even against tanks, Electrocute Aurora just has an absolutely crazy trading pattern with just QEQ, just doing so much damage with the Electrocute and Sudden Impact. But yeah, okay, so why do I think it's harder to climb in Season 14 Split 3? Oh wait, I just realized this Ornn is doing this no Doran's shield. Okay, he just built his Doran shield, but the refillable potion stop one. I've seen a few people do this. I'm not sure how good it is, but it's interesting to say the least. But yeah, so there's a couple reasons why I think it's kind of harder to climb in this season than it ever has been. And I'm not saying it was necessarily easy to climb before, but you can just take a lot of damage. The thing about Aurora is every time you proc your 3-hit passive, oh my god, it's also so hard to last hit this champ. But every time you proc your 3-hit passive, you get move speed and do % damage. Wait, I'm dead here. He's gonna flash on me. Okay. Disaster. Okay, it's fine. We TP back. We got the wave in. It's actually fine. 1-for-1 on flashes. But every time you proc a 3-hit passive, you actually get quite a lot of healing. You get a decent amount of move speed, but you actually get a significant amount of healing. So she gets a surprising amount of sustain in fights. Like it's really unexpected how much you're healing during fights. But yeah, basically this split, and I'm sure all of you know, Riot basically nerfed pretty much every single item by about 5 to 10%. Oh, you see that electrocute trade? It's crazy with sudden impact. That was through bone plating as well, by the way. But we're gonna let it. I'm not sure if I want to let it push back into me or if I want to push it. I see Skarner coming topside mid afterwards, so I think I'm just gonna chill. No, I'm still gonna bully him a little bit. But yeah, Riot have made it so every item is a little bit weaker, and this has a lot of effects. I mean, obviously it means the gold in general is less valuable, but like that has it kind of snowballs into other things. And that, like, if the gold you generate, say if you're generating 3,000 gold, and now you get less stats for it, it just means that gold leads are, they give you less, right? Like, you're going to be getting less stats for the same amount of gold as you were before. Whereas before, if you get this amount of lead in lane, it's giving you 50 AD. Now you're only getting 40 AD, you know? Like, I'm just making up the numbers. But it's, you know, it's like around that, right? It's stuff like that. And what does this actually mean? It means two things. It means, one, that base champion you pick has more impact than it ever did before. Like, I think for top lane specifically, it's always been a hard counter pick dependent lane. My god, wait, can I kill him? Oh, I don't have flash. Okay, that guy. Okay, for top lane, I think I just base here. For top lane, it means that more than ever before, the champion you pick matters so much. Because I think previously, it doesn't even matter what you play. I mean, of course, it always mattered what you play, but if you're good at your champion and you get a lead and you snowball the game and you get a gold lead and you just run away with items, it could just get to the point where no one can deal with you. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that was necessarily a good thing, but I mean, it definitely made it easier to carry games if you were good at your champion and you were better than the enemy. I think top lane has always been a role that has been considered low agency compared to the map, but it's also always been a role where if you are better than your enemy, you can generate massive leads and kind of it's so isolated that no one's coming to help. Like, no one is coming to help you when it goes bad, but it also means no one's coming to help your opponent when it goes bad. At least not in, like, no one can help you, right? Like, you get ahead on a Lowy or whatever, you know, like, everyone's been there. Or you get behind verse 1, and then, like, suddenly it's like, okay, well, what do we do? If we don't gank them, they're gonna just, like, continue just destroying us. If we gank them, they're gonna 2v1 us. So, like, how do we play this game? It just... You can carry games so brutally in a game where if you're an AD carry, like... It's like, okay, I'm super fed, but I'm still vulnerable. Like, top lane was always... harder to get a lead, but almost more rewarding when you do get one. I feel like that's how I always felt about it. But anyway, okay, that's so nice. That little alt hunter stack and the eyeball collection. Like, oh, we'd love to see it. Quick little kill right there. Okay, this is just going to be unplayable for one now. I picked up tier first base. The build I'm going to go for is Liandry's into Cosmic Drive into Seraphs. I think Liandry's into Cosmic Drive gives you insane burn. Gives you insane... Wait, do I ult him here? I don't have the damage. He's too tanky. He's too big trade. You see how much I'm healing? Look at my health. It just goes up and up and up with the passive procs. And I'm overhealing to full health because I used my potion. But he can't, like, he actually just can't damage me. But yeah, I think Liandry's gives you a lot of damage. And a lot of health, obviously. And then Cosmic Drive gives you, like, together you have like 650 health from those two items. And it makes you super fast and no one can catch you. And overall, you're, like, relatively low on burst with that combo, but you're super quick and super high, like, sustained damage over time. And then the only issue with those two items is you have no mana. So picking up a tier and going into Seraph's third gives you, like, the mana and the cooldown reduction you need at 3 items. And then after that, I just go Void and Rabadon's to, like, continue being a carry. But yeah, I think he's just dead here, no, if I hit that. Oh my god, he actually lives. That is crazy. Whatever, it's fine. I mean, I just pushed this in. I'm very though. Wait, maybe I don't have the mana for it. But anyway, what was I saying? The two ways to that in solo queue, the nerfs affect you is that you have your items give you less power for the same amount of gold, and that the champion means even more compared to the items than before when it already does. Okay. Well, if you want to give me the kill, next another All Hunter stack right there. I think if you're going no Malignance as well, All Hunter becomes even better. But yeah, the thing is, it's like the change compared to last season is not huge, right? Like, it's 10% difference, but it's not like before you had 100% agency to carry games, right? Like, that's not how League of Legends ever worked. Like, you are going to, when you play solo queue, you're winning a proportion of your games no matter what. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but you're winning some games where you barely have to do anything. That's just how the game works. And you're going to lose some games where there's almost nothing you can do. And this is even more important when you're at your correct elo bracket, because you're not, like, super good enough to, like, just completely dominate there, and you're not super bad enough that you just don't deserve to be there, right? Like, this is how most people are going to experience their ranked games when they're, like, maybe just trying to improve at the game and they're just trying to, like, climb. You're already only able to actually be the difference maker in a small amount of your games. Let's say if you play 10 games, like, I'm just making up the numbers, but let's say if you play 10 games, like, it's probably only, like, 3 of them where, like, it could have been a loss and you changed it into a win. Like, if you're at your correct elo, it probably will be a small amount like that. So the difference of now having 10% less agency in it. Oh, the cannon, bro. The cannons, Aurora and her cannons. The difference of now having 10% less agency because your items are worth less and your individual lead matters for less, just makes it harder to, like, you be the difference maker in your game. And that doesn't mean you can't win and you can't climb and this is an excuse not to climb. Like, at the end of the day, you can climb the exact same over a large amount of games. If you're better, you will climb. But it's gonna take longer and it's gonna be more frustrating because it takes longer, and you're gonna lose games that previously you would have won just in the same way, you're going to win games that like previously you would have lost to the enemy carrying it. But that doesn't feel as bad because you're not going to notice those games. You're not going to notice when enemy Katarina would have carried the game previous season and now isn't carrying. You're going to notice when you would have carried the previous game and now you can't. I am just dead. Speaking of, yeah, okay. Maybe I can get 1-for-1 here. Okay. No, I'm dead anyway. Wait, she didn't pick up my dagger. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Just take me. That's fine. Yeah, so overall, I just think the individual agency of the game. I mean, I've been talking about top lane, but it is for all roles. But I think for top lane, it hits us like very hard. It's just down by like 10% because of the item nerfs overall and just individual champions power budget. So what does this mean? Like, how do we use this? Because at the end of the day, both teams have a like 50% chance to, approximately 50% chance to win, right? So how do you maximize your impact in the game? And realistically, it just means more teamwork. I think playing with your team, I mean, I don't know if this is what Riot intended and what they were actually going for, but it just means playing with your team is more important than ever before. Playing for individual leads is less important. So for example, over the years, I would always say if you have a big wave stacked under your turret, like, or about to come under your turret and like your jungle needs help, he's doing a 1v1, I would just ignore the jungle. It's like you take the guaranteed resources for yourself over like potentially trying to help your allies. Like, screw your allies. Like, you are the win condition. You can carry the game. Play selfish. I've always been a hard advocate for the selfish playstyle in climbing in League of Legends, but yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's completely gone, but that is less of a factor than before. Like, we're moving away from that into think less about yourself and think more about your allies and play with your team. And if you drop 6 minions but you help your team win a skirmish, it's probably worth it, like more so than before. And that's just interesting. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I mean, for me it's bad because that's not how I like to play, but I'm not saying it's necessarily even a bad thing, but it's just different. And it's something to think about, and it's just how the game is. Just go in here. Oh, that's gonna hurt, buddy. Oh no. Okay, I'm fine. As you can tell, I'm still learning this champion. I'm not the cleanest, but yeah, that's the direction the game is going in, and it's something to bear in mind. And the other thing is that, as I kind of mentioned, like the champion you pick and the champion you play matters more than ever. Like, it always mattered, and now it matters even more. You gotta pick something that is good with your team and is good into the enemy team. And if you don't know your team or the enemy team, so you're first picking, then you gotta pick something that's a good blind pick, because there will be more games than ever that you will just become useless. Say, for example, I'm a big Quinn player, right? Say I pick Quinn. Now, Quinn vs Malphite has always been a bad lane. It's always been a horrible lane. But Quinn vs Malphite is like, you still get prio in the early game. You can still roam around. At level 6, you can leave the lane and roam and make stuff happen and like try and snowball the game and then win. And to be honest, it's not really worth playing, but like you can play it. It's like things like this have gotten from already being bad to being like even worse, like not even worth playing. Because even if I roam and I get leads, like my lead is gonna matter for less. Like even if I'm 1,000 gold ahead of Malphite, I'm still gonna lose 1v1. And now, that was before, and now it's like that's gonna happen even earlier. Well, I'm dead as hell here. Oh, the redemption? Okay, never mind. I think Nunu just dies here as well. He looks so squishy. But yeah, it's gonna happen even earlier, and like I'm not gonna win in side lane, I'm not gonna win in team fights, and just the champion you pick makes so... Oh, is this a throw? No, we're chilling. Jin's gonna clean up everyone. The champion you pick just matters more and more than ever before. So when you're blind picking, you've got to make sure that you're picking a solid blind pick. Like the meta is like even more forced, which is like, as someone who enjoys off meta, is quite annoying. Like you've got to pick champions that are useful like as a blind pick, and then when you counter pick, you've got to utilize that like as best as you can and pick something that's like good for the matchup, good for the team, good against the enemy team, all those things. Oh, and there's the game. And yeah, I mean, that's why I think it's harder to climb than ever in this split. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, helps me out a lot. Check out my Twitch stream, and yeah, much love guys, see you in the next one. Peace.